So,
Okay, so we have a flight in 2 hours. We're going to San Francisco, and what are we doing in San Francisco together?
We're going to AAJ,
And what is AAJ?
American Association for Justice.
All right.
It's a trial lawyer bar.
Okay.
And we're going to go back in time to, this is my evidence folder here, a little fight I had at AAJ. Actually, one of many, but just one.
You in a fight?
A shocker.
Shocker.
And it always involves the same subject. You probably know what the subject is.
It's not about food.
It's always about diversity.
It's always about diversity, yes.
So I kept so much stuff. It's very interesting. This is my whole folder on this thing. So, Mike, you can probably zoom in on this. Here was a seminar that I was going to go speak at. And what I would do, whenever I would get a seminar program, would be I would go through it and I would count. My kids have talked about me counting before. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 speakers on this program. It's in Jazz Fest, so it means it's in New Orleans. They still kind of have it, but we did it every year as a speaker there. So I go through and I count. 1, 2, 3. There were 3 non-white male speakers on this program.
Well,
3 of 14.
what year is that?
This is, although I dare you to go do it again. This was in 2009.
2009, okay.
And then I would go through their trial magazine. And by the way, I love AAJ. They do fantastic work, and they are a huge presence in Washington, D.C., but that doesn't mean that they can't do better.
Okay.
And so I would go through, their magazine that comes out every month, and I would look to see how many articles I would count. And I would count, I would go through them. There were staff would write some articles. And then I would, okay, here's one, Bill. Bill wrote this article. It's 5 pages long. Jeffrey wrote this one.
Who's Bill? Who's Jeffrey?
Well, I'm just saying. Donald.
Oh, you're just kind of calling them out.
Stephen.
just calling out white men names.
That's
essentially.
right.
Mark.
Mark.
And I know most of them, and they're really good. Irwin.
Oh.
Irwin. And there you have it.
No Mo? No Karen? No Lisa?
I mean,
That's
so this was this article came out, not 2019. So
What year is that, Maggie?
2009 also.
2009.
So
Okay.
I wrote a letter. I wrote an email. Oops, and I wrote this email in 2008. At the time, I was president of the trial lawyers here in Washington State. Obviously a little too full of myself. And I wrote this here. I write this letter as to AAJ, and I sent it to the board of directors and the executives. I write this letter to AAJ after attending the Midwinter Convention in Puerto Rico. Blah, 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 blah. Let me just skip to the part. I was talking about being at the Council of Presidents and this parade of people. It is my opinion that AAJ's leadership has utterly failed to appreciate and take action on the issue of diversity in an institutional manner that can have hope of any true result. I share this not out of a need to engage in negative criticism, but with the hope that by frank expression of opinion, perhaps I can make some sort of a difference. For too long, I have listened to the sugarcoating, the talking around, the politically correct statements of AAJ in relation to this issue. Until people are not worried about making waves, whatever the internal political repercussions, AAJ will continue to flounder, even regress on this most important issue. Blah, blah, blah. For this is what the current framework is. Leadership goes, in this case to the Women's Caucus or the Minority Caucus, both of which I belong to, and asks the people to get more involved so change can occur. They ask these members to assume leadership positions or to speak or to become visible. This strategy shows itself perhaps at its worst when at the Minority Caucus, the lineup of male leadership stops by for a total of 5 minutes max. Not only do they say, quote, get involved, but they also urge us to make more money so we can afford to be one of them. And then, nodding and smiling, they leave. This is not how diversity happens. You do not go and mouth platitudes and act eagerly for people to step up. Such a passive approach will never bear fruit. Without the consciousness of a female or minority leader who will reach out and grab a like person, the rest of the leadership seemingly flows with the status quo. The newest push by AAJ is to have women and minorities, quote, get active within their sections. Let me tell you of my experience in the motor vehicle highway premises section. That's one that I was president of, and I became an officer in. I became an officer because I was the first speaker one morning and a nominee failed to show. Over the next 3 years until I became the chair, there were no other females or minorities on the roster. Each year, a WAM, now, you know what a WAM is?
No, what is that?
A white alpha male.
A white alpha male?
Yes.
Okay, WAM.
Each year, a WAM would caucus with friends and put himself on the ballot, daring anyone to challenge him. The year I was chair, three WAMs from New York wanted to be on the roster. I literally exerted executive authority, pulled one of the nominations, and told them I was going to Minority Caucus to fill the slot. They were surprised but didn't object. I went to Minority Caucus and recruited an African-American male. I told him he now had a mission to make sure that there would be another minority on the panel when he left, and he did. Blah, 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 blah. Within days of becoming chair of the MVC section, I received email after email and phone calls from WAMs who desired to speak at the next year's convention. I offended many of them by telling them I would get back to them if I determined their topic would fit within our program. I then physically recruited female and minority speakers for the panel. Until and unless you have a diverse section leaders who are conscious of the need to promote diversity, you will not have diverse speakers in your section CLEs. So, there are at least two problems. A, little to no safeguards within the organization to ensure that diversity is not just hoped for, but effectuated, and B, no reaching out and into the caucuses to pluck and place diverse members into positions that feed into the leadership chain. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. I'm very confrontational of a person sometimes. I just am. I'm just very direct.
That wasn't that confrontational.
I didn't put in everything. It was totally confrontational.
Oh, it was.
The president then of AAJ said, this is his first response to me. This email, I didn't read the whole thing. It was 4 pages long, single-spaced.
Okay.
I wrote it on an airplane. He wrote back. So this is his first statement. You're the first person who's ever called me an alpha male, with or without a racial adjective, or a WAM as you put it. I won't take offense because I do understand and share your frustration. You and I have never discussed these issues. It is apparent that you do not know who I am and really have no idea how I feel about these issues. And you have no idea what I've done to promote women and minorities within and without AAJ. I would suggest that you ask around before you make assumptions about my values and actions. Or you can ask me directly. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So I, of course, responded. I never don't respond.
Yeah, I know that.
I always want to have the last word.
Yes, you do.
And basically, again, it's a 3-paragraph. I'm not going to read it, but I just want to read a little bit. I am not within the inner group of AAJ and am not vested in having to be delicate with my concern, like so many others who wish more could be done, perhaps, who even quietly try to get things done, but who run into institutional roadblocks. I am that focus group participant who has a different perspective than you do for whatever reason, the one you may not want to hear but need to hear in order to get it right. I am rattling the cages and hoping you will see beyond the initial feeling of being personally attacked to my true purpose of promoting radical internal examination and proactive correction of AAJ's diversity problem. Okay. I mean, this continues on, but
What do you want to talk about?
I'm going back to AAJ. A lot of people don't like me because this is how I am.
A lot of people at AAJ don't like you?
Certain
Or
people.
just generally speaking, people
Certain
don't like you?
people. Certain people at AAJ don't like me.
Oh, that's their problem.
Okay.
But what do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about when you're in an institution
Okay.
and you want there to be change.
Yeah.
There's a politic way to go about it.
Yes.
And then there's the non-politic way. Mike, which way did I choose?
The non-politic way.
I just think that was actually politic.
The reason,
Well, there's different degrees of politic. Yes, she's using a political tactic, which is attacking by the front, as opposed to most politics come from the back.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
They try to like sneak in
So true.
and mix it up within the institution itself. Where Karen went frontally and just slammed through the front door.
Attila the Hun.
Yes.
Not Sun Tzu. Attila the Hun.
Yes. And that works sometimes. But like in this instance, I feel, at least from what you read, he just went with the stock answer of, I do so much, you don't even know what I'm doing. And how could you accuse me of being like this when I'm not like this at all? You can talk to all of my female friends and they will tell you that I have lots of friends that are of minority groups, and I've promoted 2 or 3 of them throughout my entire career. Yeah, I mean, that's what they're saying. That's how those people talk.
so what happened was, and I lost a friend because of this, because she was also in the circle of presidents, and she basically went to them and said that I didn't speak for her, and that she was embarrassed or apologized for my behavior. And I told her she stabbed me in the back, and I just cut her from my life.
Goodness.
So this was
My
in
goodness.
2008. Okay, I had no power within
Yeah.
AAJ.
Yeah.
I had no desire to go, as you can tell, up through the ranks to become an officer in AAJ. It's very political. I think like United States political. That's not me. It has a lot of requirements. They are more politician, just all not me. And so I had nothing to lose. But it was interesting to watch what happened. So after that happened, there's some things that happened that I'm not going to go into because it's a long story. But if you go back about 4 or 5 years ago, I was in a group, one of the most, and I think I might have talked about this once, one of the most, they have these litigation groups, which are very powerful and very, very good. Like if you want to go to a particular area of law, they have these groups, and these groups can become powerful. And I was in a very powerful one. And it was so dysfunctional. There were like 3 women in the inner circle of this executive litigation committee, which I had been brought into, and all these New York, Texas, California WAMs. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like there was no minorities in there. It was all male. And then 3 women, maybe 4. 3 or 4 women, total out of like 30. In the executive, because once you were in the executive litigation group, you were never out of it. So it was anyway, they were promoting a whole nother slate of dudes, and I did something similar to this. I called him out and I said, I'm done. I have no tolerance of this. And I left that group, and that's what I've done ever since. Is I'm just done with it. Like, I don't care enough anymore. I cared more then in 2009. But let me tell you what happened between those 2 events, 2009 and 2000, let's say 22 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I became a board member of AAJ because someone needed to do it from our state, and I went and I was asked to do it. And that group that leadership group within AAJ circled their wagons and contacted executive leadership of trialers in Washington State and told me that they didn't back me. They backed my arch enemy, who I was no longer talking, the one that was...
Who was behind them when you
Yes.
did the first letter?
Which is, they're prohibited from ever interfering in state
Oh,
organizations, but they all did it.
yeah.
And this is why. So when I go to AAJ, I have mixed feelings. There's the people I like, and then there's the people I don't like.
So my question would be, why do you participate at all?
Good point, right? Because they are so valuable. Like, I donate a lot of money to them because their lobbyists are, bar none, probably some of the greatest ones I've ever known. Because how does a small little organization go up against big pharma, big business, big insurance, and prevent tort reform on a national level? It's because of organizations like AAJ, which are few and far between. So that's a huge reason. And the second one is because for all of the people that I don't like, there's maybe not as many that I do really, really like. And I think that's the lesson of life in general. Like, no matter where you are when you're in a group, even in an office, you're never going to be buddies with everyone. But that doesn't mean that you don't benefit from it. So I have just really good friends that I like to see. I don't learn as much as I used to because I'm one of the older people that even go to these organizations now.
Mm-hmm.
But I also am very interested in like what's new. I'm a curious mind, and I really love some of the people.
So I guess my question would be, was your original letter effective in change?
So what happened was, after that happened, which I didn't go into, I was a member of the Minority Caucus, and we decided to ask them to implement a a diversity mission statement, a diversity plan for the organization had not had one, and trialers here in Washington State had one for over 10 years. So we just took that one. Ed and I worked on it and re-edited it, but we were met with a lot of opposition. Shocker. So we've presented it and walked away from it. And then so they did not take it and adopt it. What they did is they started from scratch. Maybe they took a peek at it, but they did implement a diversity plan within the organization. And the organization has gotten better, although there's examples like I just told you of the group that I just left a couple years ago where it was the same old. So they try, and now I don't even know if they would even try, because can we even have diversity anymore?
No.
Yeah.
I'll say it.
Yeah.
We can't right now in this political environment. We've got major U.S. companies who are bowing to the king.
So when I huffed and puffed and left that other, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out with a bang. And I wrote and did blogs and all that stuff when I left that executive litigation group. I don't want to say they got in trouble, but they got watched. They got a staff person assigned to go there. They had to make a rule change. I don't know how much they've changed since then because I don't go back there. But my little huffs and puffs have always got some kind of reaction that's led to something else. And that's, I guess, my point of my story today. I could go sit there and become part of the process and, follow all the rules and be polite and just gently guide people. But that's not my way. My way, as was described by Gerhard Letzing, executive director of the Washington State Trial Lawyers Association for 30 years, was Karen throws bombs. And you better just hope she doesn't throw them your way. But they're not because of just my own personal satisfaction, although sometimes they kind of are, because I like to see what happens. But I don't think that you can always make change peacefully. I don't. I think that a lot of
No, you
times
can't.
have to just throw the bomb. The question is, what is your motivation? My motivation was like, let's make this world a better place. Let's not have 3 out of 14 speakers be non-white male men.
Even if they are effective at lobbying in the political environment.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole point. Mo, you've been very quiet.
Well, I'm listening.
Mo is very politic, and he doesn't throw bombs.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily true.
He
Well-
throws them a lot more sneakily than you would.
What bombs have you thrown?
Um,
Not that it's a good thing, Mo. You don't have to.
it's not like it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I guess I don't view as the email that you wrote a bomb. I just view your email as a very vulnerable and transparent call out to do something correct. That was what you perceived to be
I
incorrect.
called them WAMs.
You know.
I called the current president a WAM.
By the way, I don't think alpha male is
White alpha male.
okay. The white, I get it, but like, if, I don't know, what would you call me? A brown alpha male?
I didn't
A
come
band?
up with that. By the way, I didn't come up with that. Someone else did, and I thought, yeah, that's a good way to put
I mean,
it.
but if you called me an alpha male, I'd be like, thank you for the compliment. But I don't know why that guy took the email the way he did.
He wasn't just a guy. He was the president of the American
But
Association
whoever
for Justice.
he is, it was clear to me that he got very defensive.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for the wrong reasons. And he had an opportunity to be like, hey, Karen, thanks for pointing that out. I just looked at the.
Okay, but you've changed the subject.
What do you want to know?
You were supposed to tell us if you've ever thrown a bomb. I can't believe that you have. You might have thought of the bombs you could
No,
throw.
I have thrown bombs. I just can't right now in the middle of the podcast remember precise examples.
He hasn't. I'm telling you.
That's
I'm
not
gonna call you
accurate.
out on it.
No, I'm not, I have. I cannot recall.
I'm not talking about when you were 5.
Okay.
In an organization. I mean, Mike, have you ever done anything like that? It does take a certain level of.
I will say, I am more backroom than I am
Yeah.
frontal assault.
Yeah.
When it comes to political situations. And that's because I'm usually coming, I'm not anyone of importance in most of those situations. So I would say when you wrote that letter, you did it knowing that you had a position where you could make that statement and still get away with it. Where
Borderline. I mean.
if one of the new attorneys at our firm did
Yeah.
that in 2008,
Right.
what would have happened?
Right.
They probably wouldn't have gotten a response at all.
At all.
It would have been ignored.
Yeah.
Entirely. And that's why that's why people in positions of power are able to get away with stuff like that, because they are allowed to ignore the rank and file if they want to. And I think that's, whereas you came from you were someone who had been in positions that were in power at a state level, so they had to respond to you. If they didn't, it would have been worse for them.
It's true.
And I mean, I hate to point this at both of you, but you guys are all attorneys. So you have the fear of a legal fight in situations like that. Like if they dismissed you and ignored it and continued the thing, then you would have had the possibility of bringing some sort of litigation against them.
Yeah. Okay.
Not for sure, but at some point
Well,
it's
hold on,
possible.
because Mo's been feverishly thinking
Okay. Now I've been
about
thinking.
about a bomb that he's
Okay.
thrown.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was on a DEI committee and I threw a bomb.
Wait, where?
At my former job at the Federal Public Defender.
What did you throw?
I thought that the DEI initiative was misplaced, a drain. It was self-involved, self-indulgent. It was basically an opportunity for people to, in a silo, complain about personal stuff and nonsense. And the email I sent was that the mission of this institution is to help people who are poor, who can't access the courts. And none of our clients who are right now locked up at the Federal Detention Center care a lick about diversity, equity, inclusion. They want to know, how the hell are we going to help them? And so sometimes I think these diversity initiatives, in my view, become something that is totally untethered from mission. So that's when I threw a bomb, and it caused quite a bit of ruckus because I'm a diverse person. I come from a diverse background.
You weren't saying that you believe that there should not be any DEIA.
Well,
you're saying that you need to have a good mission.
No, I was saying that, and I was making a larger observation, that everybody got caught up with the DEI issues in 2019, 2020, with the Black Lives Matter movement. It just, things started to like move quite in a particular direction. And then what I started to realize was like, it's just moving for its own sake. And it's not really doing anything to advance a particular institution's mission, in my view, like our mission. I don't know, and then I started to see examples of it in other organizations, and I was like, this has become a distraction. It's just like to talk for talk's sake. So I don't disagree with the concept of diversity, equity, and inclusion. I think that like where I started to throw bombs was that I started to be a counterpoint to the movement in very particularized circumstances.
Yeah, because I just want to like grab you by the throat right now. Like, because you're a little bit vague, and so I'm thinking, like, who are you?
What do you mean, who am I?
Are you like one of Donald Trump's henchmen that are trying to get rid of all DEIA programs?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I just think that, like, sometimes organizations implement DEI for the purpose of people in the organization to feel good about themselves. They have really nothing to do about what the core problem with issues related to diversity, equity, and inclusion are. And they're not really serious about confronting it. But they put on the...
That's what I would go with this, is that it's not just that, it's that they're implementing a policy for the visual of
Yes, the visual.
They're not, it's not an actual, they don't have the purpose of it doing anything. It's just there to say that they have it.
Yes, and so when you go the only way you know this is if you get into a organization's committee and you start to hear people talk, and then you say, what are you guys talking about? Like, this is all a waste of time. And so, I get the sense that, AAJ has the minority caucus. And I'm looking at it. I want to go visit it.
AAJ has made a lot of strides since 2009.
But I don't know what the minority caucus is really doing. I'm going to go this year, and I'm going to go spend some time. Our friend Ed Moore is going to come in and vouch for me. This is Mo. I know him. He's a guy.
They're going to have listened to this podcast, so they're not going to let you in.
Exactly.
Well, why not?
Because you said you're against DEIA.
That's not what I said. Mike, did I say I'm against DEI?
No, you said you were against the policy that they had at the time at the place that you were.
Thank you. Look at you. Look at what you do.
I know.
I mean,
she's like a shark.
She's a shark.
Chummed waters. It's like.
Wait,
I do it all the time. Like, he'll call me. He'll be kind of placid. I'm like, I just don't want to talk to you anymore. You're really boring. He's like, what? I said, I'm here to be entertained. Like, I need some stuff.
Okay.
Definitely entertaining.
Right? By the way, but really, why do you think there's been a huge political shift? Because the DEI, the way it was implemented in many ways, was unattractive to people. Because it wasn't about diversity issues. It was about people feeling self-important, like, I'm the leader of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Okay, you're being overly broad.
Good.
I would say
you just painted me.
I would say that it goes even further in that the people that Karen is talking about, who, 20 years ago were the heads of all of those boards, they never wanted DEI to begin with. So
No.
when you fast forward to when you're talking about,
Yeah.
then they have the conservative backlash that we have right now. I think a lot of people who probably implemented things at their companies were like, I just did this because we had to, like I said.
Yeah.
And now they're like, great, we don't have to do it anymore. It was never about what Karen was talking about when she wrote that letter the first time, which is, let's have some positive change. Let's get a different perspective here, which we've established over these podcasts is one of the things that you have and one of the things that Karen has. But a fucking 70-year-old white dude who's been sitting on the top of a board forever, he doesn't have any idea. He's never needed any diversity.
Mike,
he's never
just
needed any of that
Mike,
stuff.
Go, Mike.
But Mike, you're absolutely right.
Oh, I know I am.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. The other thing is that you don't need a DEI initiative.
By the way, one of the reasons I've always believed that there has been this huge issue, including in an attorney organization, where, I mean, like I just told you, the best thing about this is its political program, its mission,
Yeah,
it's helping
exactly.
other people. You would
think that that's the kind of change that
you
we're
would
talking about
think
right
that
now.
they should be leading the change.
Yeah.
Look at our entire industry as plaintiff personal injury. It is heavy white male at the top. Heavy, heavy, heavy. So heavy. I mean, globally, it's still very, very not diverse. But when you look at who's at the top of the profession, it is enormously.
Old white dudes.
And they're
It's so true.
and they're good looking, and they have really good skin.
But they don't
Why
want
are
to
you
give
laughing?
up.
I'm-
Because
I'm laughing because you said all the people at AAJ look beautiful.
They're like the most good-looking people.
Well, they can afford
they are
it.
beautiful
But-
and fantastic looking.
just think about it. There's so much money and power involved in making the decision to give equal opportunity to other people that are not in that, that white male privilege circle. It is. Why would you voluntarily give it up?
You wouldn't.
Right.
I mean, that's what's, like I said, I feel like that is one of the big things about today's political environment is I see all these people saying that they don't like the changes that are happening in this country, yet they continue to let them happen. And I guarantee it's because of the same kind of thing that my dad told me one of the times that he was voting for somebody that I didn't agree with. And it's because in the end, it's all about money. That's what they want. And if they can convince you that the money is going to keep flowing towards you, people vote for it, no matter what they believe.
There are people in AAJ that they're all WAMs that just go around and they want to be the chair of every single section. They just collect them like, what are
Yeah.
you put in your belt buckle?
When you look at their
trophy.
CV, they've got a list
It's just
a mile long.
I'm the head of trucking, I'm the head of brain injury, I'm the head of medical negligence, I'm the head of motor vehicles, I'm the head.
Yeah.
They just go, and there's nothing to stop it. That's an organizational failure because that personality type, which is going to face it, an aggressive person
Yeah.
who happens to typically be white male, will get ahead because they're so freaking aggressive. And if you don't have institutional safeguards, they're just going to go around and take advantage of every single opportunity. When I was the chair of this one section, which at the time was the biggest, it's like the day that I became the chair of it, I got all these emails, all from WAMs, saying that they wanted to be on the program a year, it would be like in August of the next year to speak. I was like, this is how it goes? Like, you don't even have time to go and see who else wants to speak. It's just these same people that are the heads of everything are speaking at everything because they want all the referrals. They want, it's market share.
Money, 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 money.
But if an institution doesn't have safeguards, that's what happens.
Well, I mean, I mean, that's the institution. That's the way it's designed, and the
All
only way.
of these institutions are
Okay.
designed by the patriarchy.
But I can tell you something. I can tell you that.
They were all designed by men, just like this country.
But I can tell you that a lot of these organizations are not
Mike
attractive.
is just dying
Here's
over there.
here's Karen standing against the tide of history.
It's true.
Well, okay, but you're not. That's history. Like, that's ground truth.
We're
I
still
mean,
living in history.
I mean-
Like, why isn't it changing? Why, as Alicia used to tell me, and I was like, hey, good point. Why is there a thing called precedent? Why do we have to rely on precedent? That's a whole nother subject. Why is it so hallowed?
Yeah, I think we
Look
could
where
do
it
a whole
came
nother
from.
episode on that
Look
one.
where it came from. What the heck? We're gonna
Okay,
construct.
Mo, what were you going to say?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, you're just getting me going. Like, oh,
I know. Just riling
I think
you
what
up.
I was going to say is that I'll tell you that the generational lawyers that are coming up think this is like that. You know, like,
Yeah.
you know, like they're like they think it's like, oh, like it's 1990s. Like, oh, go to your little organization, and like I can tell you right now, the lawyers are like, whatever. These
Okay.
organizations are going to become eventually irrelevant. And the way that law is being practiced, the way that lawyers are organizing around issues and matters are outside of these organizations. So this is why I told Mike, I was like, this is a place where you go watch all the good-looking people.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's sad because, like I said, their lobbying efforts are crucial.
I think they'll just change. I think the lobbying
Yeah,
efforts are going
I was going to say there needs to be new organizations is
Yeah.
the problem. You need to start new ones from the ground up, which it's
AAJ,
not going to be
don't listen
easy.
to this. AAJ, I still love you. Don't listen to this.
Well,
Even though I'm critical of it, I still love it.
well,
But it isn't.
nobody from AAJ has like reached out to me affirmatively and said, "Oh my goodness, welcome to the practice."
No, they will never.
You know, oh,
It's too big.
Here's a, you know, okay, fine. I
Did
mean, to me-
WSAJ reach out to you?
No, nobody from WSAJ. Oh wait, Elizabeth Hanley reached out to me and asked me for help, but
That's different.
that's different.
That's not saying, hey, welcome.
No, but she didn't.
You're
well,
making this up, Mo. When you first became a plaintiff lawyer, did anybody contact you from any organization?
No.
Okay, you could have said that faster. You didn't even have to think about that. That was just like, no.
No, but maybe they just didn't know who the hell I was.
No, it doesn't. Who cares?
They saw that you were hired by Strip Matter, and trust me, they know who Strip Matter is because Karen bugs them all the time.
That's right.
Nobody.
They
And they
know-
knew who it was before because we
Yeah.
had a couple WAMs here too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was a, here we go. We're going off to see.
We're going to San Francisco.
The AAJs.
And I
But
can't believe you think I'm a Trump supporter.
well, it came out that
Now,
way.
I didn't say that.
I mean, come on.
I did.
She did say that.
We're going to be the best. Number one, we're going to be the best. It's huge. It's huge.
But here's the final. Here's my final part.
Okay.
So I know they don't like me. The people that don't like me, the people that don't like me, and they probably know that I don't like them. But this is what I do at AAJ. So good to see you. How are you?
Exactly.
And thank God they have to wear name tags because
You can't remember
all
who they
WAMs
are.
look the same to me. Now I'm pretty distinctive looking. They know what I look like, but I literally can't tell one apart from the other.
Can't believe you just said that they all look the same to me.
I can't help it. It's true.
And I don't think it's bad being an alpha male.
Alpha male has nothing to do with it. WAMs, I said.
All right, just saying. I wanna
Alpha
be-
male's the second half of WAM.
It's the second half of Wham.
Like I said, I don't even
I
know
don't
where
think
I
there's
came up
anything wrong
with
with being an
I
alpha
just
male.
go, okay, we're gonna have to do the alpha. We'll do the alpha male the next time.
Yes.
Exactly.
You can, in the defense of the alpha
I
male.
want an episode dedicated to
Yes.
the alpha male.
Thank you.
Okay. That's it.